Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. My name is Emily and today we're talking about my booktube and reading goals for 2019. So I have 4 main goals for my channel next year, and then I have 6 different genres or categories of reading that I want to tackle in 2019. Tomorrow's video will be diving into my 2019 bullet journal to show you a little bit about how I'm going to be keeping track of all of those. To start with the overarching goal of just like how many books I want to read in 2019, I'm setting my Goodreads goal to 80 when the time comes. Right now, as of December 17th, 2018, I have read 93 books, I believe. So I'm feeling confident that I can meet that 80 books goal next year, but I want to set it a little bit lower just because I don't know what next year is going to bring and I can't guarantee that I'm going to have as much time to read. So to start with my channel goals, like I said, I have 4 main ones. The first is that I want to create channel art for both like intros and outros, but also like the banner on my channel and in my Twitter account and all of that. I know that I could like ask someone to do that for me, but I kind of want to take on the challenge of doing it myself, and I've been wanting to do it for a while. I just haven't had the time or energy to devote to that. So that's something that I'm going to hopefully be able to complete in 2019. I want to learn a little bit more about some of the programs that I have on my laptop and then use those to their full capacity. Well, maybe not full capacity, but use them and try to figure out a good way to, I guess, market my channel, or just like how to brand my channel. That's the word I'm looking for. Number 2, I want to be sure to close caption every video that I post, and I want to make sure to keep track of that in my bullet journal and with my like spread of videos that I want to film. Make sure that I am adding a box to check off that I have closed captioned it or edited the default English subtitles. Our floors are so squeaky. Obviously, I would like my channel to be accessible to all readers, so I am going to work really hard to make sure that every video does have subtitles for those who can't physically hear what I'm saying, and get like actual subtitles, not just the like generated ones that YouTube comes up with, because those are pretty funny. Number 3, I want to host or co-host a readathon. I'm probably gonna go with the like co-hosting part. I don't think I will attempt a readathon on my own, but I love doing readathons, and I feel like the next way to get more invested in them is to actually host one or be part of a team that hosts one, so that's definitely something that I'm looking forward to. I have no plans, but I feel like that is something that I could potentially tackle in the new year. And then lastly, just because I wanted a numbers-oriented goal, I do hope to reach 1,000 subscribers in 2019. As of today, I believe I have 576 subscribers, so just a little over 400 to gain over the course of 2019. I feel like I can do it. I've had a lot of pretty steady growth over the last couple of months on my channel, so hopefully that continues, and if I can, surpass 1,000, that would be amazing. But for now, that is the number I sort of have in mind, and I'm going to be shooting for throughout the beginning of the year at least. So like I said, I also have reading goals associated with particular genres and types of books. So there are 4 different genres, and I think all 4 of them are sort of underhyped on BookTube, and I think that's kind of why I have slacked on reading them this year. They are 4 genres that I really enjoy, and so I want to get back into. So the first genre is classics. I am aiming to read 6 classics in 2019. I do overall enjoy classics. They take me longer to get through and sometimes feel a little bit tedious, but I'm usually really happy that I've read them. And in 2017, I had at least 1, if not 2, make it onto my top 10 or whatever books of the year. And this year, I think I've read maybe 5. I really want to up that in 2019, and so I'm aiming to devote at least 1 read every month to classic. There are a couple that are really high on my list. Fahrenheit 451, I want to read another Jane Austen, and I want to just sort of read some of those like typical high school books that I just didn't read. The second genre is one of my all-time favorites, and I have read hardly any this year, and that is historical fiction. I'm hoping to read 10 historical fiction books. I feel like that's super doable, and there are so many on my shelves that I want to read. But like I said, BookTube just doesn't talk about historical fiction as much, so I feel like some books just aren't on my radar in the same way that like fantasy is. The things I love about historical fiction is that it does transport you to a different world, similarly to fantasy, but it's just one that has like already happened. It's occurred in the past. I mean, we're so fascinated with the future, like futuristic fantasy and sci-fi societies, and I feel like for me, I'm similarly fascinated by the past and the way people imagine it. One of my favorite books of the year was historical fiction, and same with 2017. My favorite book of 2017 was The Nightingale by Kristen Hanna, and it's just everything I love about historical fiction. It's a World War II setting. It deals with relationships and families, and it spans a pretty substantial period of time, and so it's just really beautiful, and I want to read more of it in 2019. Next I have mystery thrillers, and again I'm hoping to read 10 of them. So Books and Lala is obsessed with mystery and thriller, and I feel like she has read a ton this year. She went through all of the Goodreads nominations, and I want to just take some of her recommendations and put them on my TBR. I know also Nicole from A Beautiful Chaos of Books just put up a video today, I think, of her favorite thrillers of the year. So I want to search out some of those videos and be intentional about watching them and putting those books on my TBR, because I really love mysteries and thrillers, and I'm hoping that next year I can really devote some good time to those books that usually leave me like The final genre that I want to read more of is nonfiction. My goal is to read 8 nonfiction books. I think I've read about 5 or 6 this year, so it's totally doable. The real challenge is going to be making sure that they're not all memoirs, because while I do love memoirs, I know there are so many other things to read about in the world of nonfiction. It's such an expansive genre that I feel like there are just so many things that are unexplored that I just have no clue about, and so I'm really hoping to read some more memoirs, but then also maybe some even historical or, I don't know, hoping to find some recommendations from people around BookTube. But again, nonfiction is hardly ever talked about, and I feel like that is such a bummer. And then as far as the 2 categories that I'm hoping to read, I want to devote time to both buddy reads and rereads. So I want to do 6 buddy reads this year. I did, I think, 3 this year, 1 more coming up in December, and I love buddy reading so much. It's a great way to really get closer to some people on BookTube or just in life, and I don't want to say it's more fun to read a book with other people, but it kind of is. It's just so much fun to talk about as you're working through it and just get more feedback and be able to, in real time, discuss the book rather than just like in the comments or something. So hopefully 1 every other month, that's what I'm aiming for. So if you're looking for some people to buddy read with, please let me know. And then finally, rereads. I want to reread at least 8 books this year. I reread a couple books this year. Well, okay, more than a couple. I reread the entire Harry Potter series via audiobook, and it was phenomenal. I really do like rereading, especially old favorites that I, finish and say, oh my gosh, I can't wait to read this again. Because there are so many books that are like that for me, and some books that are just so nostalgic. I'm really hoping to do the Hunger Games read along in, I think, like the first 3 months of 2019, because I do love those books, or I did when I first read them, and I want to revisit it. I adore rereading and visiting books that at one point meant a lot to me, and it's great to see if that continues or if my views have changed at all. It's really cool to see how my tastes have evolved and how my thoughts grow from several years ago to today. So that's a lot of books. Keep in mind, some of these can overlap. If I want to reread a historical fiction book, I'm going to count it for both. If I buddy read a mystery thriller, I'll count it for both. So hopefully this doesn't actually end up being however many, like 40 books or something. But if so, that's about half of what I'm aiming to read. So I feel like that's a pretty good percentage. About half of books are ones working towards specific goals, and then the other half I just fill in along the way. Like I said, tomorrow's video will be all about my 2019 bullet journal and how I'm keeping track of these goals. So if you're interested in seeing that, be sure to check back tomorrow for BookMas Day 7? Who knows? So definitely let me know in the comments what some of your goals are, or if any of these kind of resonate with you, if you're working towards similar things. And again, if you want to buddy read, please let me know. You can also find me on Twitter and Instagram, Goodreads, etc. All those links are in the description box. Thank you so much for watching. If you enjoyed this video, please give it a thumbs up and subscribe to my channel so you don't miss out on my next video. But until then, happy reading. Bye.